Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the Target exclusive Retro X-Men. This is the Weapon X, Wolverine Weapon X. And you can see here the call out says high-tech training helmet there because we actually get an alternate head sculpt. We did get a Weapon X figure before many years ago in, which wave was it? Warlock Build-A-Figure wave? Apocalypse? No, not Apocalypse. It was not the Wendigo X-Force wave. I don't remember which wave it was, to be completely honest with you guys, but we did get a Weapon X figure, so there are some similarities and some reused parts between this figure and this new one. The good thing about this new one is that this new one is all pinless, so that is cool, and then we get the extra head sculpt in there, and then, of course, some changes between the figures. So we will do more of a comparison with this one, but I will go over all the good stuff, like articulation and all that, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Again, Target exclusive. I think people are finding it in stores, and I think it's not register locked or anything like that, no street date. This was actually delivered by Target, so I had my pre-order shipped just a couple days ago, and it arrived today, so that's how I got mine. So, Weapon X, X-Men Retro, you can see on the back of the package, a look there, and the bio reads, kidnapped by the Weapon X program, mutant Wolverine barely survives the brutal experiments that bond adamantium to a skeleton, and the mind control meant to turn him into a feral killer. So there we go. If you need the barcode, I guess, there is the barcode there. There's a sticker over it, I'm not sure why. But that is the Weapon X Wolverine. Let's open it up. Let's take a look. Alright, so we have the Weapon X Wolverine figure out of the package. He actually comes with a fair amount of accessories, so we got 2 extra sets of hands. So one of the things that we have, and I don't think this is the first time now at this point, but we don't see it often, is the open hands that are clawed with the claws popped. So that is really cool. You actually get some hand hair on the back of his hand in there that's painted on there, so which looks pretty good. But the open hands with the popped claws. So we get those. We get the fist with the claws popped, of course. So that is good. And again, you can see the hair on the back of the hands in there as well. And then here's, I guess, the kind of weird one. We get one open hand for his right hand. You can see the hair on the back. And then one fist for the left. Obviously, of course, it's best if we get 2 fists, 2 open hands, or just 2 fists, maybe no open hands, or 2 open hands, maybe no fists. Ideally, give us all the hands. But I hate when they do this kind of thing. So one open hand, 1 fist. I'd prefer them to just give 2 fists, 2 open hands, make it easier. But of course, they're not going to do that. We have a couple of head sculpts in here. So we have the full the helmet here with the full the head with the full helmet look on there. This is not the same as the previous one that we had gotten before. You could see, obviously, not only is the color different and the facial expression different, the whole thing is different. Nothing of it is the same. Obviously, there are some similarities, but it is not the same at all. So we will take a closer look at that a little bit later on. And then we have here with the unhelmeted head sculpt in there, and then you got these pieces in here. And then this hose just like ports into it. One thing I'm going to do is, this one was kind of tricky to put on here, but this piece in there, it just kind of floats in there. The way the hair is, it's keyed in there, so this could kind of sit in there perfectly and kind of hold in place. But if you didn't want it to be there, you can still have it on there if that's what you want to do, and you have all those different options there. So you could pop this helmeted one back on there, and then port that hose back in there. Whoops. Port the hose back in there, and then bam, you got your Weapon X there. So let's go ahead and get in for a closer look. Okay, so a close-up look at the Weapon X helmet in there. It's just done in this gray color, not a whole lot of paint, but we get a little bit of red in there for that kind of that visor look in there. And kind of going through the comparisons, it's much lighter in color, and then there's just a little bit more details in there that are just different from what we had before. The antenna is a little bit smaller on the new one, and then the hair is really a lot more flared out and kind of going kind of all wild and stuff. The harness that he wears is very different. As you can see, this harness came across here in the front, whereas the new one now doesn't have that strap that comes across in the front. We do get some silver paint in there. The hoses and everything like that is the same, although it's positioned differently, and that might just be because that got turned around. So the hoses between the arms and everything are going to be the same because the belt piece is the same, this equipment piece is the same, although we're painted a little bit differently, better in my opinion this go around, as it's kind of painted hose right there. It looks a little funky that they added the yellow in there, but you know, this little screen, you get some squiggly lines in there. It looks like it's kind of monitoring his heart or whatever. No paint on this little box there because we got that on the old one there in the orange, and then a little bit of red paint up there, but we didn't get it down here, but we get some paint there on the front, whereas we did not on the older one. And you can see that is a lighter gray in color. He's wearing brown trunks instead of black trunks like we had gotten before, but our leg hair is a lot better. So the previous one, as you could see where the leg hair was, and it was a little shiny plastic, but we got some leg hair just on the outside of his lower legs, and that was it, which was kind of weird. Now we get, it's not as detailed, granted, but we get hair all along his legs, in the front, not in the back. He is hairless in the back. But we get the hair in the front and then a little bit on his feet too, which is kind of cool. And then we get it all throughout the arm. And then again, this is pinless, and then the back of the hand also gets it. As you can see there, we only got a little bit on the bicep and the forearm before. We actually get it on the shoulder now, which is good. I didn't mention this, but it kind of goes without saying that the hoses were translucent red previously. They are a blue color now. The hoses and everything, again, those are the same because these wrist straps on there are going to be the same as well. So those are the differences between the two Weapon X figures. So now let's go ahead and go over the articulation. The articulation will be very similar. You know, the big difference is, of course, this new one is pinless, but that really doesn't change much in terms of articulation, because really, like, the body itself, like the torso, is the same. But let's go ahead and go over that now. Okay, so Weapon X articulation, he really can't look up because of the way the hair is designed. It kind of drapes over the shoulder there. He can look down, though, which is good. You can do some side to side. The hose will stop it from going all the way around, so you just kind of keep that in mind. You can't really get any pivot in there. The arms you can get to go straight on out like so. Full rotation gets a little tricky because of the hose. So other than that, you know, you would typically be able to, but because the hose gets in the way, you can't really do that. You got the upper bicep swivel in there. It's a little stiff, but the bicep swivel in there. You get a double jointed elbow, big, huge bicep, so it does kind of hinder the elbow a little bit, but you get a nice bend eventually, and you kind of have to work how much you bend each one. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands that he comes with. We do get the butterfly joint in there, so you can get the arm to go back significantly far, and then coming forward for some crossbody. And again, the hose kind of pulls a bit, so you can get some crossbody. Let's see. And this strap kind of gets in the way. You can get some crossbody in there, so that is good. There, we got the ab crunch, so Wolverine can crunch forward that much there, so not too bad. He can lean back a little bit, get the waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far there, which is really good. Leg doesn't really go back. You got an upper thigh cut in there. It's a little stiff on mine. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. No calf swivel, of course, but foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So articulation is pretty good. Again, you just can't really get him to look up, but that's because of like the long hair and things like that. But in my opinion, articulation, pretty solid. Yeah, you know what? Just kind of moving him around and everything just feels really good. That butterfly joint does really get back far in there. In case you were wondering, yes, you can remove the claws out of those hands, as this one just kind of popped out on its own. So just be aware of that. So I guess you could have fists, but then they would have gigantic holes in there. But I am really liking the Weapon X figure for sure. It's a nice upgrade. I don't think we needed one necessarily. But now that we have one, it is definitely a much nicer update. As you can see, like the head sculpt previously was probably like a black plastic, and then they painted the skin tone and it didn't look great. Whereas now it's a little bit less facial hair in there, and it just looks a lot cleaner. It looks a lot better. So we've got that going. And then plus, you know, pinless versus, you know, having the pins in there. But, you know, skin tone color wasn't as big a deal. But there we go. But let's go ahead and see them full on side by side. Okay, so full on side by side, as you can see, they're obviously very similar, but there are some upgrades to this new one. It just gives a much cleaner, better look in terms of how the quality has shifted in Marvel Legends, in terms of how they apply paint and things like that. You know, just shows kind of a major difference. There's not like a lot of additional paint on there. There's just some things that they kind of made some minor changes on there. But then again, as you can see, there is some reuse and things like that going on. But if you missed out on the Weapon X figure from the past, this is a great way to be able to get it again. It is a Target exclusive, likely showing up in stores now. And again, I got mine for my pre-order. I'll have a link in the video description below to the listing if you're looking to pick it up, and you could probably do a store pickup option or anything, because I think Sunday, October 5th is a new set date, so then a lot of stuff will be showing up. I think the Outback Storm figure is probably going to be showing up as well, as my pre-order has kind of already shipped, and then Toy Snowman already shipped that out along with Mystique. And then the Daredevil, Born Again, Daredevil, and Punisher figures have been starting to show up at Target. I know my local Target store, one of them has actually received the Daredevil figure, not the Punisher figure. But they said, no, we can't sell it until tomorrow, even though it's not street dated. they wouldn't go to the back and get it for me. And also, it wasn't located in the back, so they probably would have had to find it, and it would have been a big old thing. So unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I hopefully will be able to get it tomorrow. But yeah, that is the Wolverine figure. Weapon X, Target exclusive. You guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this new one? Is it one that you're looking to upgrade yours? Or are you fine with your old one? Or if you missed out on it before, this is your chance to get the Weapon X. Let me know all of that down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.